All right, and I am starting another stream reviewing the animation on The Last of Us Part 2. I worked on it for about a year. I worked at Naughty Dog I was hired as an interactive cinematic animator. But I did a lot of different things, and so my credit for this game, if you see it at the end, is actually for additional animation. But I was hired as a interactive cinematic animator, um, but because of how the workload worked, I just kind of did a little bit of everything. So that includes melee, that includes like locomotion movement stuff on the horse, that includes cinematics, that includes prevising, all that kind of stuff. And so we also used Autodesk Maya there. I'm just going to hit press any button to get started. We also used Autodesk Maya, and I teach how to use Autodesk Maya in my courses. So if you want to check that out, go to digitalcreatorschool.com, the same name as this channel, digitalcreatorschool.com, and check out those Maya classes. That's what we use to actually make this game, or a lot of it. A lot of our animations, all of our animations were made in Maya, and then we would export that for the designers to take into the game. So let's get started and continue playing the game. And if you haven't watched the last stream, I think that stays up on Twitch for a little while. I'll probably put that up on YouTube as well, on my YouTube channel. Let's see what we have to watch tonight. When I was working at Naughty Dog, I intentionally tried not to play the game very much, so it would still be new to me when I am playing it right now for the first time. So my commentary is going to be kind of shooting from the hip, as it's been like a year since I played the parts I had played while I worked there. So I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time all put together, and looking forward to seeing how it all kind of got wrapped up, because there was a lot of that I worked on that was just pre-visualization. So I would get a sequence and be like, hey, we don't really have a clear idea. Why don't you take a pass at this? And so I would go in and like roughly animate things and make a pitch for it. And so a lot of that stuff I handed off before I left. So I actually don't know how they finished it and how they used it. So we just got out of a snowstorm. It's Ellie and Dina, and it's still relatively early in the game because I talk a lot about the game when there's a chance to. Most of the work I did, I think, it has already been in this first part that I've already gone through. So a lot of what I'll talk about is just kind of general game mechanics that I notice, and my overall experience working on the game, and kind of a behind the scenes knowledge of like what goes into making a game. So this was my first game, AAA game I worked on.
I gotta see what's back there.
Can I bust through here? Oh, that's nice. I love it.
What's going on here?
It's just like intuitive.
All this electronic stuff?
Part of the animation I did was also work on the Workbench, which I don't know if
Yeah,
we're about to be
nobody else would
introduced
tinker
to.
with this shit. Why would he hide it from me?
I've been also watching a lot of the commentary and reviews and stuff.
Huh.
So this would be considered an in-game cinematic, right? This would be an inspect. So there was one animator who was
It was a firefly?
tasked with doing a lot of the inspects. So this was like any book, any map, anything like that. This was one person that would handle it. And basically, what they would do is we have alpha rotate. You would basically set like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positions, and you would blend between these. It'd be like the corners of the frame I'm in. There'd be a pose here, a pose here, a pose here, 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 there, and there, right? And if I'm holding something, and I'm rotated up this way, it would blend to here, to there. So those are the 8 poses you would create for this inspect, and you just kind of blend through them as you're, moving through this on the joystick. So that's how that is made.
I had no idea. Yeah. I got into some real dark shit.
typically they don't want to come out of an in-game cinematic with a cut, but because that was such a close camera, there's really no smooth way to like pull the camera back so far.
And 2 civilians. Jesus. He also told me that he and Tommy slow tortured some big Fedra general. I don't know. I don't buy Tommy doing that, though.
He could do worse.
What do you mean?
He and Joel did a lot to survive after the outbreak.
Getting some backstory here, catching up on the story. A lot of the writing was, I think all of the writing was done in-house. Let's check out the trading card. It's really cool. Like, I mean, this is original artwork that artists at Naughty Dog created for the game. So, I mean, they invent an entire world down to small details like a trading card of like a made-up superhero. It's pretty impressive when you think about the links you have to go to create an immersive environment. I mean, everything like these little books, like for copyright reasons and lawyers, like they wouldn't allow a book that actually exists like that unless they got the rights to it. So they have to make up their own artwork for every little prop in here. That's something they're very diligent about. You can't, like, they impress that on the artist. Like, you can't like try to hide something in there that could cause a lot of legal problems if you use material that's not copywritten or that is copywritten and you haven't gotten the rights for. So a lot of decisions go into this stuff, down to small details that most people might not appreciate or notice. I almost kind of feel like I think I played this when I worked there. This environment looks kind of familiar. Like it was someone's job to write this stuff. Like if you think about, if you're interested in working in games, like it's someone's job as a writer to make all that stuff up. All this dialogue.
On a generator.
Oh yeah, I think I worked on something about this is familiar. I can't remember if I did something about a generator pulling in-game cinematic. I can't remember this. Yeah. I like this kind of, it's almost like a little puzzle to get the timing right on that. And the UI of that's really appealing.
Impressive workbench, Eugene. I bet you could mod your gun with this gear.
Here we go. Here's the workbench. All right, so the workbench, I worked at Naughty Dog for a year. They had been working on the workbench long before I got there, and they were still working on the workbench after I left. I think every animator who worked there probably touched the workbench at some point. But I think I did, gosh, I can't even remember the animations I did. It might be one of these right now. I didn't do a backpack thing, but I think I did this one because I did a pistol and it was a cleaning one. My head's in the way. Kinda here. Capacity, recoil, fire rate, inspect. I didn't do this, but I did one where you unload the gun. Let's back up. Upgrades. Oh no, I want the pistol. Are we upgrading all of these things? That's not clear to me from this UI. If I hit upgrade, I'm going to upgrade fire rate, stability, and recoil because I can't go upper. I did that! Yo! I did that animation! Wait, I gotta go back because I did this animation too. Pop. So what I did as an animator, I look up reference. I look up what kind of gun this is. And I look up how it's loaded, how this gun operates, because I want it to operate correctly. I don't want this to be like someone who's never used a gun before. I will say, I think probably someone worked and did an idle on the fingers. You can tell I did not do that. So I know people like this happens a lot at studios. You work on something, either then you get something that's more high priority. Maybe you weren't done with this, Then someone whose contract just started, they take this over and they continue working on it. And then you're working on something else and you just pass it off. It's a very team effort, collaborative thing where it's hard to say 100% I animated this whole thing because it's very collaborative. And but that general motion, I did that and this because I like the poppiness of that and how her hand gets, after it gets cocked as far as it can go, it pops off really quick. Helps add like snappiness and feels like there's resistance, and then release is important to make it feel realistic. I feel like stability, because I'm trying to conserve bullets, so I don't want to, the fire rate isn't that important to me. I did not do this animation. A guy named Darren Sumik, I forget how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, this'll work.
Was kind of
Good job with that.
ooh, these headphones on, they have like spatial audio. It sounded like they were from over here. Darren was the lead kind of on this, so he kind of organized who's working on what gun, doing what action, and that's common for. Oh wait, I need to see if I can upgrade the rifle. So I also did this one, that I think just to set it down. Let me see if they changed it. Yeah, that's pretty much it, because there was one. The main thing I wanted to get with this animation was, and this is the same thing, but it's not as complicated as a gun. It's kind of self-explanatory how this gun works. I didn't have to do a ton of reference. But the main thing on this animation is when you set it down, and you basically turn off the constraint of saying, hey, this hand is controlling it and now it's not, is it still needs to have some secondary motion on it because it's coming to a rest and it has momentum of being set down. So when you watch this and it gets set down, watch that there's a little rock back and forth. So right there it kind of shakes a second. All that stuff is hand animation. None of this is like simulated. If you wanted to, you could push her hand straight through the table and the gun straight through the table. There's no like collision object here. This is all hand animated, and that's, I think, a lot of the misconception with a lot of this work is like somehow it's all mocap or it's simulated. This is hand keyed animation, but you have to do it. The kind of other constraint of this kind of work is you don't want it to be too slow because you want it to be responsive. So if I was animating this action for like a movie, I would probably animate it a lot slower, but because it's a game, you want it to be more responsive, and so you'll animate it a little bit faster. So I think I'm out of stuff to upgrade this with, so I'm going to back out and be done with that. Yeah, the strap, it again is not simulated here. The backpack, I think, is simulated. I mean, I know the backpack itself is, but the straps, the horse reins are simulated. But a lot of times you can get in a kind of interactive sequence like this, these cloth or the straps are not simulated. So someone had to hand key that to make it not look totally terrible. It could still use some love. You can tell it's a bit stiff, but yeah. The main thing here that's working is the idle makes it still feel alive, and it doesn't feel super repetitive. Feels natural, and when you do any kind of interact with a button, things happen quick enough that you can get in and out of that activity. All right, so let's move on.
Oh, hello. Ellie, look at the floor. There's more stuff down there.
You see a way down?
Not here.
One thing I wish is they wouldn't constrain how fast you can walk in these kinds of environments. It kind of forces you, like, they take away your ability to run, which is a design. See, until now I can run, but when I was in here I couldn't run. I had to like pass through like probably an invisible volume here, which indicates to me now I need to go somewhere that's further away because they gave me the ability to run again. So this is an in-game cinematic. Any kind of button mashing thing.
What's he got down here?
Well, it's obviously a sex den. That's
This
why he
is-
didn't tell you about it.
This is the kind of thing I was hired to do.
For his sake. He was so lonely, man. It's probably just like a giant TV he didn't want to share.
The stairs are
80%
decent, you know. Stairs are always a hard thing to do systemically, meaning
Let's see who's right.
kind of in-game, on the fly, in real time, going up and down stairs. Let's watch her come down. Yeah, she slid through one of the first step and the last one. So once they're on the steps, they're pretty good, but the transition to and off the steps are a little rough. The AI is a little odd at like, all right, so what do you look? It makes me think that there's something over there, but so this is another in-game cinematic. The camera
God.
didn't cut. It's a
Sweet.
fluid movement
That's a
that the
lot of
game took over the
deadly.
camera now.
This explains a lot.
So now I guess I can move again. Yeah, there was no pops, there was no jarring. Like, that's one of the things in Polish you look at a lot, is to get the exact position of the camera and player, because in game there is a collision surface with their feet, and if there's any interaction or intersection with the player's feet from our animation coming from the cinematic, the player will have a little pop. So a lot of debugging is done on that to make sure we are matching poses.
Maria would lose her shit if she saw this place.
How'd he get this together?
Must have taken him forever.
I wish he'd told me about this. Could have helped him out.
I'm adding a little something to Instagram just in case anyone wants to get on and ask questions in real time. Like, just, I mean, the environment artist did a great job. Lighting artist, environment artist did an amazing job on this game. Like, you could, it's really good work. To pre-render this would take a huge effort, let alone have this be real time. We got another bong, or it's like a bong gas mask.
Dina. It's a gas mask bong.
God, he was so smart.
Again, any inspect has that 8-quadrant kind of a animation pose that gets just kind of what's called lerped between linear interpolation. So, you know, someone made a pose here, here, there, in the corner, and then you just, you know, and did the same for the other ones, and now you can just move between them. Ooh, got some joints.
Oh, there we go.
You think it's still good?
Does weed go bad?
So this is not an in-game
Let's find
cinematic. This is a cinematic. They cut from game, and now we're in a cinematic. The facial animation was handled by
You having a
Sony,
hard time?
PlayStation San Diego.
Fuck. Give me that.
Oh, yeah. Like you're gonna get it.
But I think a lot of the mocap was handled at Naughty Dog, and then the facial
Okay.
was done at San Diego. But they may have also done body mocap as well, cleanup. But the performances were all done
What the fuck?
in the shared
is wrong
mocap
with you?
space that Naughty Dog
had it
and
open, didn't I?
Sony Santa Monica use together on their game. So where they recorded this mocap is the same place they recorded all the mocap for God of War.
Smells good.
I mean, we're gonna be stuck here a while, right?
Totally trapped.
Can I ask you a question?
The half-lid blinks are great use of that to give them
Okay.
life and keep them alive.
Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being like absolute trash, and 10 being life-altering. How would you rate our kiss from last night?
Why are we still talking about this?
They really captured the mouth
said it was a
mannerisms
mistake.
of the actress who plays Ellie.
Did I say that?
The kind of pinched middle lip.
What are you doing? I asked you to rate our kiss.
I don't know.
I give it a 6.
A 6? Wow.
Like a solid 6.
I feel like that
Okay.
could have
There are a
used a
lot of
little
people
larger
around.
expression.
That's a
6?
6.
Oh, what?
Like the
mean, now
dialogue
I really
didn't
wanna know
match
how
the
you rate it.
face for a second there.
What do you think you do?
You're infuriating.
Have you met you?
I feel like they could have played her face, Ellie's face, a
You
little
make me
bit
wanna go
more
back
to
inside.
camera, cheated toward camera. It's a little awkward of an angle, that grazing
No one
angle.
is stopping you.
Or just move the camera up to the left and then you could see more of her face. Good hand animation. The fingertips could stick a little bit more before they slide. They were just kind of constantly sliding. So now we're back on the Abby storyline, I'm guessing. There we go. Which people have their opinions about this story, but I think it's really ambitious to introduce kind of a new character like this and make you play as them and be sympathetic. I forget. Here we go. Kind of forgot the buttons for a second. Oh man, if this is the section of the game I think it is, I hate this section of the game. Oh shit! Oh, I forgot how to run. Yeah, I'm gonna, dude. Can you run L1? Okay, here we go. Oh shit! I hated playing this at work. Like, imagine playing this when you can never win. I hope they made this easier. Oh god! Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go! No crap. Dude, this is terrifying. When I played this at work, there was dead ends. Like, there was nowhere to go. So this is my first time playing it, hoping there's actually a way out this time, because it's the most frustrating thing to play at work.
Okay, out this way.
Great level design.
Damn it!
Oh shit, now I don't know what to do. Yeah, 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 yeah. Am I still running? I don't know what to do here. Oh, okay. Come on, come on, come on, go, go, go. Run, run, run. Stop jumping. Go, go! What are you doing? Yeah, dude, I'm a sucker for this stuff. Like, so this would kind of be like an in-game cinematic where if I slow down, the animator has also done like a fail state animation. So when, yeah, that might not have had a fail state. Ooh, there's Joel. This isn't gonna end well for someone. I love the intensity of this sequence.
You okay? Where the hell they all come from? It don't matter. What does is where we going. I reckon we go out the back. We can make a break for the lodge. Yeah, I ain't got a better idea. Hey, you got a gun?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're a good shot. Keep up with us. We gotta warn everyone. Come back with a cleanup crew. We gotta live through this first. Watch them windows.
Hey, how's it going from Instagram? I'm not sure how to pronounce your first name. What is this? Ooh, I get a pipe. Yeah. Ooh, let's use it. So some of these, I worked on some of these finishing move animations, and I think what you don't anticipate when you're working on something like this is you actually have to animate the camera as well on these finishing moves. And a lot of the feedback we were getting early on was how nauseous people were because the camera moves were too were too severe. So we had a lot of focus testing to dial back those camera moves so that yeah, I need a new one, right?
Up there, the window! That's our way out! You see a way up there? Here, use this! Hey, girl!
I'm a grown woman, don't call me a girl. So this is another in-game cinematic. So there would be like a fail state or an idle for that if I hadn't have oh. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. So I'm gonna eventually be... Oh, not a clicker. Wait, let me get that. Oh gosh, okay. I'm glad they like kind of took control of that one. Dang it.
God damn it!
Oh no! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! There we go. Come on, Joel. I might have done that one. I need to look back at my reel and see which melee animations I did. Because that's one thing I was impressed with this game is, you know, there's these... come on, I'm about to die here. Stop it! Stop it! With all of these melee animations, there's so many different variations, and it's contextual, meaning it depends on, are you near a wall, are you near a table? Oh, I think I was supposed to be moving this thing. Or just helping me protect him? I don't know. And the designers can also... It's a bit... I feel like I need to speed up the camera moves really slow.
Help me with this thing! Save my hide there. You need me to take over?
It's not clear how
Get those infected away!
Okay, so the goal here is to protect him. I feel like they didn't make that super duper clear. Okay. See, the difficult gameplay thing here is I can't keep my head on a swivel very easily. So I have to like wait for the camera to move all the way around. I need the default camera should be much quicker. It's that's a bit frustrating because it's not a matter of being able to punch people. It's a matter of the camera's too slow to see where people are coming from. That's kind of weak. So I think the solution here is to bust out my gun and start shooting people from a distance because I'm getting
Come on, goddammit!
I'm getting kind of... Ooh, I'm not good at this. I'm realizing.
Save my hide there. You need me to take over? I got it. Just keep those infected.
I'm running out of bullets here.
Tommy, I'm running low. Just need another minute.
I do like that aspect of this game. They spent a lot of time trying to figure out the resources, like how much was too much, how much was just enough. Because they want to make it challenging, but they don't want to make it feel like you have all the bullets in the world. But see, like, I have to take my hand off the melee to like spin the camera around. It's not the greatest.
Through the window. Let's go.
I should have grabbed that. How do I use that while I'm up here? Oh my god, how many combat animations are there? Dude, that was like an entire team of animators. Only job for more than a year was just to do combat animations.
Where are we going?
And so you gotta think,
Come on.
They're everywhere.
oh my god, what in the world? I should have gone quicker.
Head for those doors. Through here. Let's go.
You have to think that it's all contextual. So if you're meleeing someone who has a two-handed weapon versus a one-handed weapon, if you're coming up on their right side, their left side, behind them, in front of them, and you need variations for each one of those things. Are you going to disarm them? What gun do you have? Do you have a gun? Are you hitting them with a one-handed melee weapon or a two-handed melee weapon or barehanded? So
Stay here. The horses ain't making it all that way.
My friends are at a mansion just north of here. It's fenced in. We have the whole perimeter secure.
so it's hard to I'm sure there's a number. I don't know it, but I mean it would be a lot.
Get the door.
I mean, a year's worth for a team of 5 people to work on every day. This is how many combat animations there are. It's a lot. So, my main critique of the combat animation right now is the camera's too dang slow, but I probably have control over that in the options, but the default should be much quicker.
Skateboard. Uh-oh. And I tried to get on it. And it shot right out from underneath me.
Wait, how did you get the scar?
I fell on my knife.
Like just having her arm on her arm, like all these intersections, like until you animate something like that, you don't really appreciate how much of a pain in the butt that is. There's no collisions there. There's no automated anything. You, as an animator, manually have to make sure those intersections aren't a problem.
To cover a bite mark? Right here. I got jumped by an infected when I was 14.
I feel like Dina's reaction, this is her first time learning that, is...
Turns out I'm immune, so it healed with a ring of fucked up teeth marks and says...
I feel like Dina should be reacting in a bigger way here. She thinks she's joking?
Hey, I told you a real fucking story.
Oh yeah,
Tell you a real fucking story.
Oh, you want a bite mark? Did you hear that? Jesse? Just stay there, okay?
Are you okay?
Just will
What's
you wait,
going on?
please? What? Just turn around. What are you doing?
Are you kidding me? You're supposed to be on patrol.
There's a blizzard outside.
Look at the peach fuzz on his face.
Why are you here?
People are counting on you. You get that? What we do matters.
Well, then why aren't you at the fucking lookout?
Because Tommy and Joel didn't show up.
What do you mean?
We waited for them for an hour. I was looking for their horses when I saw lights.
Maybe they just went back to town.
Without being replaced? No way. How much of their region have you covered?
Not much.
Then we split up. Go at it from different sides. We can cover the whole thing in a few hours.
I don't like you riding solo. We don't know what's out there.
Exactly. What if they need help?
Okay, I'll head west. Dina can take south, and you come from the east, but be smart about it, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you're doing this animation, you start with like a proxy rig, and then as you get closer to polish, you enable the high res so that you can deal with the intersections of the clothing, which aren't as accurate on the proxy rig, but the proxy rig is way faster to work with. So in the early stage, that's why you want to work with the proxy rig. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't shoot them. There you go.
Let's get inside!
It's about to go down. I don't know if whoever is watching is familiar with the story, but it's about to go down.
Scared us.
How are you guys doing?
We're good. Thanks.
Yeah. Can I talk to you for a minute?
We used Maya.
Saddles off?
We used Maya. The question is, what program did you use for to animate it, Maya or Unreal? I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but we use Maya. We do not use Unreal, or we did not.
You have no idea.
Naughty Dog has their own game engine, and all animation is created in Maya. That's why I teach Maya. Every studio I've ever worked at has used Maya. So that's the program you want to learn if you want to work at a place like Naughty Dog as an animator.
You two live nearby?
Which actually had to do a animation test to get hired there,
Y'all should come back with
which
us.
I could maybe
Restock
talk about
before
at
we head out.
a future time.
Appreciate it. I'm Mel, by the way.
Tommy, this is my brother.
Don't tell him your name. Whoops.
Y'all act like you heard of us or something.
Because they have.
Laura? All clear?
He's out. Put him against the wall.
Tommy! Get off me! Get off me!
Ooh, that's gruesome leg.
Joel Miller.
Good camera work. All one continuous shot still.
guess.
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
So, yeah.
Tourniquet his leg. Do it.
Why don't you do it, Abby?
Don't you fucking move.
God! Damn it!
Yeah, I mean, you would have hit the femoral artery there. He'd bleed out pretty quick. So I intentionally didn't watch this stuff when I worked at Naughty Dog because I wanted to have... I'm seeing this for the first time. I didn't work on this sequence. I didn't want to watch it when I worked there because I liked the game and I wanted to experience this in real time.
Old man. You don't
Still
get to
all one
rush
shot.
this.
They haven't cut yet. That's good. Yeah.
Joel! Tommy!
I might do a whole video just about the horse animation because I spent a lot of time doing the horse animation. They never fixed, you can tell they never fixed the collision on the neck of the horse. It's still too far away from its neck. Like it just hovers over his neck. But what you gonna do? Okay. Yeah. So she's about to run up on these people.
Please be okay.
Where'd Dina go is what I want to know. Why aren't we with Dina right now?
Joel! Tommy!
So I mean, when you think about level design, you want to, especially like this kind of linear level design, they work really hard to make this feel like an open space and organic, and there's many different ways you could go, but in reality there's only one way to go. But a lot of thought and effort goes into kind of faking that and making this feel more open than it is by obscuring the horizon line,
You're okay.
kind of making like these other paths that still go in the direction you should be going. Got one more question here. Didn't you guys use any motion capture for the horse? I think I saw some picture from Naughty Dog. Yeah, so we did use motion capture for the horse. This is why I want to make a whole video about it though, because let's say you have a horse that needs to gallop. For a horse to get up to a gallop speed, it needs so much distance to reach that speed. The motion capture stage is not that distance. So they couldn't capture certain aspects. And you also have to think that the riders of the horses are not necessarily actors, they're horse people. And the horses are nervous and they're scared. If you see the original footage, they're not acting like they're roaming in an open meadow like they are in the game. They're acting like they're in an enclosed space with a ton of cameras around that they don't like, on a surface, on a floor that they're not familiar with. And that is shown in the motion capture, and that's what we have to animate out. Not just that, but the intersections. You have riders who are not the same size as Ellie. Abby and Ellie are two different sizes. Dina's a different size. You have stirrups that need to be at different lengths. You have arm lengths that are different. You have gestures that the horse didn't do that you have to keyframe animate into the performance. That the my fiance is coming down. That the horses never did, because they were in a nervous state, and so there's certain things that they just couldn't do, and even the things that they could do, it still takes an animator to fix it and keep the feet from sliding, and then we have to take those types of motions into the motion matching gameplay kind of programming that they have that will trigger a different animation at different times, and work on making sure that those blends occur correctly so there's not a lot of feet slipping. So long story short is, just because something is motion capture does not mean it's into the story. That is just the very first step into getting enough information to begin the work. And I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions of gaming or films in general about that technology, is that whether it's a horse or a person or a dog or whatever, which they also did it for dogs here, there are things a human can't do. There are things a horse can't do that maybe you need them to do. You'll have to keyframe that. Or even the things that they do that the capture data is too noisy. There's jitteriness. There's the retargeting software of the balls that are used on the mocap suit for a horse don't accurately translate into the rig. So we have to go through and find where those inconsistencies are and fix those manually. And then on top of that, do our own keyframe animation to add, gestures. I did all the tail flips. I did all the we basically deleted all the motion capture of the horse tail because it was unusable, because they had to wrap the tail up so that it wouldn't obscure the motion capture ping pong balls. So because the horse tail was wrapped up, it bounced and behaved in an odd way that would look weird if you used it in the game. So you basically take all that motion capture data, select all of it, and hit delete. And then you start hand animating the tail from scratch. And then they also would do some simulation on top of that in game in real time. But so anyway, that's a little bit longer answer to your question about didn't you guys use any motion capture for the horse? I think I saw some picture from Naughty Dog. Yes, they did, and yes, it took a lot of work for it to work in the game.
There it is.
Joel? Tommy?
Hopefully that answered your question, but keep them coming out. That's a great question. You notice that sound design is really good. Just thought of everything in this game. But yeah, I love questions like that, and I thought about doing a whole video just about the horse, because I was super impressed when I got there. I was like, oh, you guys mocapped a horse? Like, that is not cheap. They paid a ton of money just to resurface the entire mocap stage, just so that they could do motion capture on the horse. And when they did it, it was like a big event. Like, they planned weeks and weeks in advance, and you only have them for a day, and you got to get everything for an entire game in a single mocap session with animals. Like, it's just like, and you just cross your fingers. All right, so the other thing about this area is, when we were first introduced to Abby in the game, there was going to be a whole sequence where you could roam around, and I was a part of prevising that of this area to make this like an inhabitable space. So there was going to be someone sitting in this chair reading a book that you could interact with. That would take someone writing it. What are they going to say when you talk to them? What book are they reading? All these types of things are like, this stuff just doesn't come into existence out of thin air. All these things are decisions that have to be made, and it takes actual people pushing buttons on a computer to create them. So this is where we originally saw Abby when we were first introduced to her, and she got out of her sleeping bag to talk to Tommy at the wall over here. And part of that sequence that was cut from the game, because they said it didn't add as much to the game, was just that you would be able to be Abby and move around the space, go upstairs, and then there was going to be a map you could inspect on this table. And if you go down these stairs, there was going to be someone on the couch that you could would take your Polaroid with Tommy. And then there was going to be someone else would be working on the garage door. But it's cool to see the space finished out, because like, these stairs weren't there, and we're having to figure out, like, all right, if you're Abby and you didn't go directly and follow Tommy, he would have to stop at this pole, lean up against it, and we had a bespoke idle just for Tommy, just to lean against this pole to wait for you if you didn't move into this next room immediately. And all that stuff was made, and it's weeks of work, and it just gets cut and never used again and never talked about, to my knowledge, because I don't know anyone else that was working on the animation in that scene, in this kind of intro Abby sequence that was totally cut. Yeah, hit this. Well, my fiance is going to listen in, so I'm going to turn on the other controller for 1 second. Okay, so we're back. I'm gonna make sure that, here we go. Can you wave? Can you just wave your hand? I feel like they're gonna think I'm making this up. Yeah, that's my fiance wanting to join in and follow along. So long story short, let me catch up super quick because she watched the last time I played. Abby found. Oh, there's the dog. Abby found Joel.
Okay.
And shot him in the leg and hit him in the head with a golf club. And now Ellie knows that Joel didn't come back to camp or whatever, and so she went out looking for them.
Abby thought that Joel was bad.
Huh?
Abby thought that Joel was an enemy.
Well, I don't know if it's been fully explained yet.
Okay.
I think you're gonna discover that part of this. So we can hear Joel right now,
Gotcha.
who's struggling to stay alive.
Look, you got her. Okay?
You're gonna fucking die!
What's going on?
Let him go.
Who is that?
Let him
She
go!
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta
The
get
intersection of her
out
head with the face and like pushing up against the floor with her face, that's a lot of work to animate that.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up.
All right.
Fucking kill you.
I like the choice to not hear their voices right now. Turn on subtitles for your wife. She has a headset on the other remote. So, yeah.
Ellie? Ellie. I'm sorry. Jesse! They're down here!
So, yeah, I'll wait till this is over to talk again.
Could I sit down, please?
Yeah.
My dog is right here.
Maria wants to make sure you're eating.
She can't stop us.
The right wrist of Ellie was a little weird there. It was a little...
They have the guys that we would need to do this smart. We'd be leaving Jackson vulnerable.
So they just get to get away with this?
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, but that's what's happening.
What if we get hit by hunters again?
Is this you talking or is this her?
That's a valid point.
If it were you or me, Joel would be halfway to Seattle already.
No, he wouldn't.
He absolutely fucking would be.
Well, we don't even know for certain that they're from Seattle.
Washington Liberation Front. That's what you said was on those patches.
What if they stole those jackets?
That's...
What if the WLF move?
What are you doing? You know what? I'm leaving tomorrow. And if you want to come with me, great.
You have no idea what you're walking into. You don't know how large that group is, how armed.
I don't care. You can't talk me out of this.
Give me a day to talk to Maria.
Any hand stuff like that is always kind of sketch, because like
Gotta be some folks you
on
can
his right hand, his thumb was just probably going right through his jean jacket, but you can't see it because it was behind his hand like that. Like, where's his thumb right now on his right hand? You know what I mean?
one day,
Like, and his left hand for that matter.
please.
But you can kind of get away with that stuff. If you can kind of hide that. But getting that interaction, like her touching his jacket and the jacket was moving, is big. That was either... These were handled by PlayStation San Diego, so I'm not sure what kind of rig setup they had, but they either simulated that or had like probably like a chain of little controls on the jacket they could adjust kind of in a general area. A little too much movement on the flower petals there. They're not made of paper. Especially in the cold, if they have water in them, they would actually become more firm and freeze up and not move as much, but whatever.
I want to stop at his house before we leave. Just have to pick something up.
Okay. So, one thing I just wanted to say was, when I was working on the game, and they showed Joel in the trailer of the game, the first one they were going to put out, I was like, people are gonna be pissed. Like Joel dies early in the game, but y'all are putting him in the trailer like he's a big part of the game. And then when people realize, I mean, I guess they did it intentionally so that that moment would carry more weight and be so unexpected. I was like, y'all are gonna piss a lot of people off, I think, because like you're making it seem like you're gonna play as Joel and Joel will be a big part of the game when you know he's gonna die really
Couldn't
quick.
get to the horses. Looks like Tommy took one. Now Maria's got the stables locked down.
Fucking Tommy. We'll figure something else out on the way. Car or horse or something.
Okay.
This makes getting to Seattle a lot harder.
Then it's gonna be harder.
You can still change your mind, you know?
I know.
Did you know?
I just don't want you to feel like you have to.
The question is, did you know about how the story would end when working on this game?
Mike. End of story.
I'll answer in 1 sec.
You need to get your backpack.
I hid it by the east gates. I figured we'd want to slip out that way.
I kind of missed what they were saying. What am I supposed to do?
She needs to get her backpack. I think she's going to Joel's house.
Do I just follow it? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I would just follow her.
Yeah, so when you start the job at Naughty Dog, they have a whole packet, which is basically like their pitch packet of how the game's going to go. And so to get acquainted with it, like you spend a day just reading the script, going through all the concept art. You play through some levels that are playable, because you need to have some working knowledge of the game. For instance, if I'm like I was given a sequence about this ambush, I need to know if there's another ambush in the game, how they handled it, avoid repeating things in the game. So it's part of the job is you have to know a lot about the game. But I tried to avoid playing
Wait a minute, I can go get it.
playing sections of the game I already knew about because I wanted to play them for the first time. If I didn't have to work on them, I wanted to play them
Come on.
when the game came out. Oh, this is Joel's house.
Thanks.
I have a feeling we're about to play a little guitar.
Yeah, she came in to get something, but...
The house is really well kept, considering, I mean, I would expect like mold. There's a little bit of damage, but it's not like they have like a plumber that can come over and like fix stuff.
Joel seems like a handy dude.
Joel does seem like a handy dude. Look at that beautiful God rays. Volumetric lighting in real time.
It's
The floor is probably a little too reflective. Especially I would think the floor would carry a lot of dirt. So it'd probably be a little less reflective, but whatever. But like,
This looks like a real kitchen.
yeah, right? That's one thing with all of these environments. Everything has to be based in reality. So they like pull reference for everything. Same thing with the horse. Like I watch so much reference of horsetail flipping. There's a section of an ambush that I worked on that, working with design and environment, we had to pull Google Maps reference for me to justify, hey, there should be an embankment here. Like, well, that mirror is super clean. Because they'd be like, do department stores have embankments typically on the side that the parking lot's on? If there's lighting and there's a road to the right of that, you couldn't just make stuff up. Like, all this has to be based in reality and had to be justified. See that amount of dirt, or I guess they're saying that's probably snow. But like that's what like the floor should look like and the mirror should look like. That stuff is a little too clean. Ashley, follow her on Twitter. She painted this. I think she has her signature there. I forget what her last name is. I think it's S.
It's like an S or an H.
Let me look it up real quick. So Ashley, oh, you gotta turn your remote back on. 1 second.
Sorry. Should I just
So
jiggle
now
it
we're
around
back.
every once in a
Yeah, you
while?
should probably just move it so the controller doesn't turn off. Ashley is who kind of gave notes on if we were Ashley Swandowski. Her Twitter handle is Coyote Hackles, and that's her artwork right here. And she kind of headed up the horse stuff, and so we would like do horse poses and then send her either single frame poses of the animation that we did, and she would do draw overs and be like, from based on this reference, the horse's back should actually be lower, or they should hold the right foot longer than the back feet because there's more weight on the back feet, so when they rest they pull up their front, stuff like that. And so there's a lot of back and forth, and that was Ashley's responsibility.
You called it.
Well, he was like making a guitar. Look, more horse stuff.
He likes horses.
Huh?
He liked horses.
Yeah. So the other thing about the horses, when you asked about the mocap of the horses, one of the other major animation components that I had a comment on when I first got there was all of the motion capture. The riders were holding the reins with two hands because the riders as well as the horses were also nervous, so they were holding the reins with two hands. But when you look at something like this, it's a very dynamic pose. It's one-handed. You think of like the environment that they're in. If they ride horses for transportation all the time, they'd be very relaxed riding a horse. They wouldn't ride a horse like this and hold the reins up to their chest and like always be ready to pull back. So we had to take that animation, all that data, and then change it, adjust it, pull their arms down, pull the hands down, relax the shoulders, and then adjust all of that animation over time so that it would make it look more relaxed. Like these people ride horses every day and they're not on a motion capture stage with 100 cameras pointed at them and 10 people barking orders and them repeating the same motion over and over and over again on a slippery floor. Let's see, I had another question. No, it's the same one. Or maybe it hasn't updated.
I think someone just joined.
Uh-oh. Find a little memento here. So again, this is another inspect thing. So there are 8 poses and you can adjust between them. So it'd be, again, think like the quadrant thing here. There'd be a pose this direction, that direction, this direction, that direction, all the way around.
I love the dirt under her nails.
Yeah, the hands were textured really well. I feel like they could maybe use a little bump up on the knuckles. Like the color texture is doing a lot of work, where I feel like a normal map could make the grooves of the knuckles a little bit deeper. So again, like,
Everything okay?
well, wait a minute, I want to see if I can play this guitar though. Dang it. What's the artwork he has? More horses.
Did you get everything?
Huh?
Did you get everything?
Yeah. Oh, no, let's look at a picture. Oh, that's his daughter that died in the first game. I'm impressed he was able to keep a picture. Oh, who's that? I guess we're in the town. I'm a little like on edge. I'm impressed that he was able to keep a picture through all the craziness. See, it's stuff like that that gives us like a much more connected feel to the characters. Oh. Any tip for an indie game developer when it comes to combat animation or any animation for a RPG game? I've not worked on an RPG game, so I can't really speak to it, but just animation advice in general for a game: hire good animators. Don't get someone that does you a favor who's opened Maya once and doesn't know how to animate. The bar is just set so high for games in general. You really need someone who's good at animation. So maybe hop on Vimeo and check out animators' reels. And the truth is, you have to probably pay a little bit or
let it go, but I can't.
find someone who's very generous with their
Bring these
time.
people to justice. Ellie's gonna try to come after me, but stop her. Take her guns, lock up the horses, maybe lock her up. Buy me some time so I can end this. Love you always, Tommy. He's gonna get himself killed.
He should have taken me with him. You should have given us a group to go after those fuckers.
I wish I could.
You gonna try to lock me up?
I'd prefer that you stay.
That's not gonna fucking
I
happen.
prefer that you stay, but I know you better. You going with her?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna sneak out of here?
Yeah.
On foot?
Yeah.
I told the stable to let you out with your horse.
Her hand looks like it's floating on the right
Grab some
side.
ammo too.
It was pushed against the
Thank
table.
you, Maria.
I don't know if it was like the contact shadow wasn't there or what.
Just do me a favor and bring my dumbass husband home in one piece, please.
Or was that Tommy's wife?
Of course.
All right. Get going. You're losing light.
Look at the subsurface scattering in her ear. Mount Rainier, probably. That looks like Mount Rainier.
Yeah.
There's Disappointment Cleaver. I climbed Mount Rainier when I was 15 years old.
Hunter was on top of him, drowning him, and Joel couldn't get to his gun.
Jeez. Were you scared?
Well, I
do
didn't
this,
even think.
but keep it.
I don't think so.
Just ran in there, grabbed his gun, and chucked him in the face. How old were you? 14.
Oh, do you see that pop?
Just killed someone.
We talking
Not good.
infected?
No.
If you watch my
Well,
Non-fungal.
my in-game cinematics, that does not happen. I'm just saying.
What happened?
Guy was coming at my mom. I stabbed him.
Shit.
So, for example, like I was saying earlier, if this was the mocap, they would have both hands on the reins and they would not
So
be
how
chilled
lost
out
are
like
we?
this.
We're not.
Uh-huh. Hey, have a little faith.
So I actually did,
What
now I
about
remember,
those
actually,
crazy cannibals
the
who suck
idol
on
of the horse,
They came after you guys once. Maybe these
I did the,
WLFs were
all this
connected to
facial
them.
stuff is my animation.
No.
Not
Didn't seem
that
like
one,
the
that
same
was a
one.
different one. So
Maybe
they'll
those black
layer,
market smugglers back in
they'll have like an
Boston?
idle animation and
Do
they'll
you know?
layer other
Joel crossed a lot of people.
gestures on top of the
Also
idol
people
to make
missing.
the idol not look
Okay.
like it's looping over and
Least
over again.
until we find out more information.
But they had really
Oh,
good
no.
nostril controls to make him look like he's breathing, huh?
Just say like the animation's not awesome, right? I feel like they look a little weird. Their eyes are weird.
Yeah, so this is different from what we've been watching. This isn't,
Exactly, yeah. This is gameplay.
yeah. One thing I look at her right hand, her forefinger and her other finger on top of each other. Right there.
It slowly moves over.
Like this.
And then she
That should not,
shakes her
that
head.
shouldn't be that way. It should be much more relaxed out like this. And her thumb could come in. Right now, that pose, she's holding her thumb out, right? You'd have to like engage your muscles to hold your thumb in that pose, whereas it should be hanging straight down. You know,
The horse looks great though.
yeah, the horse looks good. They did fix some of the collision stuff. If you look at the reins over the horse neck, there's not as big of a gap as what there used to be when I was playing. One of the major pains was the horn on the saddle would keep catching the reins in the dynamic simulations, and it'd always get caught and then stretch the reins and be all awkward. Looks amazing. A lot of people have, I think you mean, complimented how good the horse animation is. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was basically Laura Schwartz did most of it, and then I helped her because it's a ton to do to take on an entire thing like this yourself. So McCall was the lead for that. He helped out a lot, and he's the one that implemented it in the game. So making sure the blends were correct between the animations. And then Laura was kind of the organizational person. For example, she created the Python script so that when you bring Ellie into a scene, that her feet always went in the stirrups in the right way. Because if you imagine, let's just say we had way more than 20 animations. Let's say we had 20 animations for Ellie. Every single one need to start and end with her foot in the exact same position in the stirrup. Otherwise, between each animation, the stirrup would just pop to the new position. So we had to have a standardized way to make sure it was consistent between the animations, and that stuff can get off track really easily when multiple people are working on animation. You hand it off to someone else. They don't know what state it was in when it was handed off. Have you done that step yet, or do I need to do it, or did we change that original pose because it caused problems with intersections of the saddle? So now we have to go back through every single animation we've made for the horse and change the stirrup position because they changed the design of the saddle. And that's exactly what happened in the game. And we were not told about it. And then we just started playing our animations one day and then realized, hey, these don't work anymore. Great. We have to fix everything in time that we did not budget because we were not aware they were going to make a change to the saddle. And that is pretty normal for working in a studio. And it's things like that I think would really frustrate juniors who aren't familiar with that kind of fluid nature of working on such a large project with so many moving pieces and people and assets that are constantly changing, getting notes. I'm just like enjoying watching. I mean, this was like what I did at work. I would turn on the game and I would just watch the horse move around, and I would speed up, slow down, turn in a circle, turn in a fast circle. I mean, this is what I got paid to do. It's not a bad job.
Cars.
I mean,
Yeah,
let's be honest. There's worse things you can do.
Keep an eye out.
Got it.
The one thing that always bugged me is there's this piece. If you look at where her knee intersects the saddle, that piece always bugged us, and we could never find a great solution so that her leg isn't intersecting with it all the time. Because it would either intersect with the saddle, and then the saddle would come through that piece, like completely intersect that piece, and you'd see the inside of the saddle, or it intersect her leg. So in this dynamic motion of her leg constantly moving, you're manually keying every single frame of this to correct for those intersections. There's no collisions here. This isn't automated. This is a person on a computer pushing their finger on a button to correct for that stuff. Like this kind of environment, I just kind of like want to roam around and like appreciate all the detail here. Because when I played it, none of this stuff is polished. Like they're just cylinders where trees are supposed to be, as they're like blocking out the environment, and then they work on bringing in the actual assets. So this is like the first time I can play the game that has like polished environments that I get to.
Go. Guess I was wrong. Turns out you do know where you're going.
Which way are we going? Do we know which way we're going? We're going to Seattle.
Yeah, but there was like a.
Huh? But the sign for Seattle's this way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And it's interesting to see the level of the reclamation of the earth here compared to the first game. You know, they take that amount of time into account that things would degrade or been taken over that much more. Ooh, let's go explore. So I did that animation.
Stay with Schindler.
The hop off?
I did the hop off. See her leg intersection with that piece. I did that tail animation.
Yes.
Ooh, another playing card. Again, this is like, you know, original artwork to this game. They just made up this kind of collectible cards. I did. So one time I was walking past one of the modelers' desks, and I noticed faces I recognized in the studio that they were modeling. And I was like, "Oh, are y'all doing photogrammetry capture of people who work here to be in the game?" And they're like, "Yeah, we've been doing it for a while." And so I was like, "Well, let me know if you guys need any new faces. I'd love to be in the game." So some of the people that you end up fighting in the game that are scars or part of the squad or just NPCs that you'll see around are actually people who worked at Naughty Dog. If I see them, I'll call them out and tell you what their names are. But unfortunately, I got to Naughty Dog a little too late to be
Anything good
to
in
be
there?
included in that and have my.
Yours, Matt.
Well, that's something.
There's a treat on my shoulder. Wait, sorry, I want to get off again. So I did that, and then there was another animation because we had to have new animations for when there's two riders. So if you're not riding a horse with another person, Ellie will swing her leg over where Dina would be sitting. But because Dina's there, she will lift her leg straight up over the saddle, which is what I did. That was my animation, was to do this.
Does Dina always move forward when you hop off?
That was something new. I don't.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think that's probably so if you start walking around, she's probably going to follow us. If we get too far away, maybe not. I don't know. That wasn't in game when I was there, so that's kind of new to me. Because Dina sometimes has her own horse. I don't know, but even then, no. I mean, yeah. When I was working on animations, that was never part of what I was seeing. Is that she would? That's probably something Laura did. After I left. But like we had. Anyway, yeah, we had like a little playground area in a level that we could go explore, like the horse jumping off different heights and seeing how it would react. If it would play the correct animation, we'd have like a little debug menu that'd be in the top left of the screen, and we could see in real time what animation is being played, what frame of that animation is being played, and we could pause it and then rewind and see and move the camera around and debug our animations to tell, okay, on this frame of this animation, I need to make an adjustment because it's not blending correctly with the motion matching system. Sorry, I get like super distracted by, like, the horse is going slower, you know. This is another little detail they have to work in because it's that deep in water. It's got to be moving slower.
Sure seems quiet. Yeah. Think about how well we hide our lookouts.
And now look how wet the horse's legs
That's
are,
what scares me.
reflecting, and it's probably going to dry over a certain period of time. Like, that's great. Yeah, and now the horse's legs are probably dry. It's good. This environment is great.
Whoa. Is that the QZ? Yep. Watch the high spots.
This looks like a little odd area over here. Yeah, this is awkward. They could, well, I guess they made it a clean cut. It just seems odd in the sense that it's a flat wall. There's so much depth to all this stuff, and it's like a noisy depth that's organic to how the way things grow. And then when you look back here, it's a flat wall. Like they could have done a little more, like have vines growing up and have a gradient of vegetation instead of just like it's a wall of trees, you know. It's a super anal thing to even mention, but like it's one of those things that would be like the last thing on their list because they have such higher priorities of stuff to deal with. So that's good. We're kind of giving an indication of
That's friendly. At least we know we're in the right place.
Where is everyone?
They put up this sign. Means there's gotta be a way in.
So I definitely want to get on top of that thing in a second. I want to see if there's stuff in here. When you get to the gate, look for a soldier named Kieran. Tell him I sent you and give him the kilo and he'll get you inside the wall. So we need a kilo of probably drugs or something. I don't know what they're talking about. A kilo. That looks like that could have been cocaine. I don't know.
Yeah. Gone.
Kilo of... Yeah, nothing. And, you know, they intentionally... It would make the game really boring if every time you opened a drawer there was something in it. So it's a, you know, obviously an intentional game design decision to not make every drawer have something in it. Oh, there's another one. This has the kilo in it. Fedra. Federal, what does that stand for? Something. So this is, yeah, what they call, like, clicker is stage 4. Runner is this one. No, infected, runner.
Clicker is the
I always got these confused when like we were working on the game and they're like,
clicker and the
we need a
blow.
melee animation for clickers, and I'm like, which one is that again? I forget.
You good in there?
Pretty picked over.
Come on, give us something. Is there something on this side? Let's get on top and see what's up. What's that? Looks like some kind of a
Radio.
like a, I don't know, what is that? Oops. Whoop. A little awkward of a jump.
Dina, help me up here.
Okay.
Man, look at the strap going over her leg when Dina bends down.
I'll keep an eye out. Just see if you can get the gate open from the other side.
Sounds good.
I probably wouldn't be yelling that loudly if I just read a sign about getting killed as a trespasser. I guess I'm supposed to jump over here. Oh shit!
Whoops.
Whoopsie daisy.
Oh, you could craft something.
Oh, no, there's an... Wait. No, that's where I was.
It's the next one.
Is it the next one? Next
Mm-hmm.
one what? I'm supposed to jump even further, though? That looks closer.
No, but you can craft something when you see this icon.
I can craft something on what?
It just, when you died, it said you can craft something when
Oh,
you
that's
see
just
this
a...
icon.
That's just like a game tip. You
Oh.
can't craft anything to get across the spans of an abyss. Early in the... Like in the first version of the game, they had planks where you could get them and then put them across. And that was an intentional decision. In this game, they did not... they
Make it
wanted
harder?
to avoid having them, huh?
To make it harder?
To make it harder, and they were at when they used to be in the game. They used to be in this game.
Oh, you did.
But we were having to make that plank animation but it was only getting used in like a couple of spots, and I was like, this isn't worth the trouble. And it felt like they could achieve whatever they were doing with the plank in a different way, so they just got rid of the plank altogether. But it was a big component of the first game.
Ellie? I'm good.
Just almost died.
I feel like if I lived in this time, I would always be carrying a rope around with me. Is that just me?
No, that sounds practical.
It just seems like a practical thing to do.
Where are these fuckers?
Oh wait, do I have the... I guess I have the revolver as well. I took from Joel's house. I don't really get why Dina couldn't come with me. No, put the gun away. How do I, Oh, that's like a quick, R1 is like a quick weapons swap. This is going to come in handy.
Okay. Wonder when this was written.
Got a big operation coming up, and Isaac wants us to scavenge any remaining supplies from downtown, take any gas from the courthouse garage, the dome,
Saravena base.
and take them to the safe house in
That's something.
Saravena base. I have a feeling we're going to need those codes for something. Does that have power? Is that on? How do I crouch? Oh, weird. You can't crouch. Get down. That's a crouch? When you're aiming? That's kind of odd. Look, this thing has power, though. That's unexpected, but I guess that indicates maybe the gate has power. These drawers being empty is getting old.
Okay. How do I get you power?
A little mystery puzzle here. Do I need to jump up here and what do I need to connect to that thing? I don't see a cord anywhere. Can I jump over this thing? No. Can I punch it? No. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's a generator.
I'm supposed to turn it on first. Alright, that was a little poppy.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Step one. Get that kid open.
Ellie? Ellie! Over here!
Hey, everything okay? What was that sound?
I got that gate open. Gotta figure out this one now.
Well, we believe in you.
Thanks.
Who's we?
Her and horse.
Oh yeah, let's find out what FEDRA means. Federal Disaster Response Agency. Like FEMA. There we go. There's a bit of an awkward hand gesture thing. Can I craft? Oh, I guess that means I can craft stuff. Probably should have crafted a med kit. But if I use this Molotov right, I won't need a med kit. Maybe I can set the gate on fire. No. Okay, nothing here. They can't make it too easy, you know?
How's it going?
It's that wire. There we go. Getting around that thing. Another generator.
Pull.
That was a
That's it,
brick.
pull.
Okay. So... Oh, I got it. If this is long enough, and the gate will stay open. Got it. I mean, that's a pretty dope, like, little puzzle thing, especially the dynamics of the cord and stuff. Just from a design, if I was Fedra or whoever who designed this, I'd be like, what idiot? You have to, like, get the cord to go.
Have the generator on all the time.
Yeah, you'd have to have the generator all the time, and you're a complete
No,
idiot.
but I mean, like, they'd have electricity, right? The generator just is
Oh, the assumption is this would have electricity from something
at
else?
some point, yeah.
Maybe.
But now that it's abandoned.
This is only a backup
Yeah.
system, so it doesn't have to be well designed, maybe. Okay, so now we gotta... wait, how do I get the, I have to back out. I need my trusty code thingy. Checkpoint gate codes. Oh, which one am I on? Do we know what gate this is? How do we figure out what direction this is?
I don't know, can you not try both?
Uh-huh.
Can't you just try both?
Gate D2. I just feel like there should be some signage about this is the west gate or something. Is D2 enough? Oh wait, what's that say? Seattle QZ main gate. Alright, let's just start trying them. Oh, not my journal. Dang it. Oh, main gate. 0512.
Yes. Looks like it was gonna tell you.
Well done.
Oh god, I was about to... If that was gonna cut the horse in half, I was about to get pissed.
Come on.
That would not have been
That crash
cool.
was pretty loud. Now what?
I found a note back there. Had some codes on it.
Oh wait,
Says there's a WLF safe house at some
I
place.
kind of want to get back there somehow, because that was locked.
Saravina. So we find it?
Hopefully we find our first WLF. Get them to
Yeah,
talk.
blow it up.
Go from there.
Let's do it.
all that jump animation's smooth. We haven't got to see a lot of that. Let's see, can we go in here? No. Really enjoy the overgrowth of these. Like this was an intersection, and now you can see the crosswalk a little bit. And you know, the lowest lying areas of the road are where the water pools and where the vegetation is growing. Like it's all very well thought out. So here's an
shit,
IGC.
Saravina Hotel.
That's gotta be it.
So gameplay wise, you know, we intentionally jumped over something that we can't
find a
go
way
back
past
over.
this,
We can't get back over that thing, so
Fuck Fedra gate?
that
Very
helps
creative.
control
That's right to the point.
where the player can go a little
Let's
bit,
get
so you
closer
make
and
sure you
scope it out.
keep going in the right direction.
Back in Boston, they catch you tagging a wall like this, beat the shit out of you. Or worse.
QZs sound like fun. Do you know the code?
That note I found has a bunch of them.
Uh,
But
East
feel like it
2.
tells
get power to
you.
the gate first.
Oh, we need to get power to the gate first. Where's that going? Is that it? Where's it going? Is it going? Oh.
Okay, here we go.
No
It's out
gas.
of gas.
God damn it. Well, what do we do now?
Oh, shit.
Siphon.
The note.
What?
The note mentioned that there's gas in the courthouse garage and the dome.
Alright. Courthouse garage and the dome. So what's the plan for finding these places?
We ride around and see what we see.
You think Tommy came through here?
He did.
What did I miss where Tommy, I thought we were supposed to go with Tommy.
He told her not to go.
But then his
He just went anyway.
but then his wife was like, "Bring him back, safe."
Yeah, well, Tommy said not to let her go, not to let Ellie go, and she.
I thought that was the note Joel left.
Anyway.
Oh, Tommy already left.
That note was from Tommy.
Oh, I thought that was from Joel. Got it.
Will you look up? I'm trying to see if we can see anything that's got like a dome-looking structure.
Yeah. It's not like there's a ton of places to try, you know? Was the courthouse or
Dome.
the dome? I mean, oh, like where are we supposed to go? I don't really.
I mean, can you get into any of these little buildings?
This thing? I mean, I think that's. I don't know what that would do. Maybe. Uh-oh, we gotta reconnect the controller. 1 second.
Sorry, I have to dial it.
Okay. Anytime we're reconnecting controllers, because my fiance is listening on the other controller,
Sorry.
and she doesn't touch it, so you know she's not playing. So then it turns off the controller after a few minutes. What does this say? Sarge, let's read it. This is just the census of people. To ease the burden on the food stock, step up your sweeps for criminals and expel them. now qualify for expulsion. We're running out of time.
Idiots. Just turning it all against you.
Wait, what's that?
A bus stop?
It's not a dome, I guess.
Huh?
Just looking for dome structures.
Yeah. It's got to be something over here because we can only get to it with a horse. I guess I just keep going, huh? Oh yeah.
So,
Oh, there it
It's
is.
a dome.
pretty sure we're here. Ah, nice. I'll mark it up as we go.
Alright, let's go to the dome building. Yeah, I thought that it was a little deceiving because there was a ramp after that barbed wire. It looked like you couldn't come back if you jumped over it.
Why would they do that?
Well, they would sometimes destroy parts of the city that were lost to the infected. Or to rebels.
That seems like overkill.
Well, it usually worked.
On the infected or the rebels?
Both.
Ration distribution center.
In Boston, we'd line up for blocks. And the food sucked.
I'd go crazy.
And some people did.
Flammable, that's what we
Come on.
want.
Let's
Yeah,
find
it
a
said
way out.
fuel distribution.
I guess we're gonna have to climb up that thing somehow. No? We gotta go to the other side.
Can you get through?
Alright,
Pretty
I
bad
got-
security system there. Uh-oh.
Stay low.
Ooh, headshot. Come on, give me some bullets. Not so
I
much.
think we dropped all of them.
Yeah, looks that way.
Alright, I feel like, yeah, we really need to go up. Well, I want to... Alright. It's hard to know where to go first because I don't want to, like, miss going to a place. Maybe we can't get up here. I thought at first we would climb the ladder part, but... guess we gotta go this way. But I mean, so game design-wise, you know, if they didn't put that white paint there, you might not immediately get your eye drawn there, but this is like an intentional choice. So it creates contrast and, you know, you immediately think, this is something I need to look at in the environment. Oh, what? Oh, this might come in handy, right? Oh. I want to hit more than one though with it. I don't want to just hit one guy. Maybe I can stealth kill this guy. Oh, dang it! I keep screwing up the stealth kills. I think I'm about to get killed by a clicker. No, okay, phew. That was terrifying.
I think that's all of them.
I don't get it. If there were still people around, they would have cleared this place out.
Maybe they didn't make it here.
Maybe. Let's find that gas.
Can I make another one? No, I don't have enough stuff. Swap it for a gun I got more bullets for. I got spoiled playing this game at work because you can just have infinite ammo, so you don't have to be very resourceful. So I feel like I'm going to learn that lesson the hard way. That's a pretty environment. Oh, this wood grain molding. Got a little bird in here. Is that a bat or a bird? This is a really cool environment though.
Hey, Ellie. This place is a synagogue.
How can you tell?
One, there are menorah decorations on the wall. It's a Jewish thing. And two, I didn't burst into flames just now, so...
Burst into flames?
It's just a dumb joke.
Oh, unlike your other ones.
You shut it.
So the game, the facial animation they use in this is,
a lot of memories.
you know, different than the cinematics.
Synagogue all the time.
You never struck me as much of a believer.
Nah. I like coming from a long line of survivors.
You mean after Outbreak Day?
That, and the Inquisition, and the Holocaust. My family always made it out alive. Barely.
For this to be in game, it has to be joint-driven animation.
Found the gas. Just need to get back there.
And they would use, I think they had their own system. I can't remember if they bought something, but it would take the script and it would get like a
Flash is
rough
on the other
estimate
side.
of the lip sync, and then I think they did a pass. Wait, what did she say? So what's on the other side? Can I crawl under this thing? No. Something's on the other side. This is what happens when you talk through a game.
Okay.
I guess I need to push that all the way.
Here we go. God damn it.
Hey, language. House of worship.
It's empty.
That sucks. Now what?
We'll try our luck at the courthouse garage. Let's get out of here.
Convenient little step up there. Let's make sure we're not missing anything here, because I'm using
Do you
bullets
still pray?
a little too willy-nilly.
Really? When?
I said
Oh,
when
there's a
angels
door
pray.
right there.
Sometimes I just a little one to myself.
Food rations.
Does it help?
I think it calms me. Helps me put things in perspective. It's a way to deal with grief. A way to show respect. It's what I know.
think we got everything. How do we get out of here? Come on, Dina, we need to do like a boost up or something. Knock over the menorah. Can we just go out the front door? How do we get out of here? What am I missing here?
How'd you get in? Up there? Can you push that carty thing?
Oh, we need that cart for something, yeah. Should we go out? Which window? Let's push it up against this thing and check out that area up there first. Thanks a lot, Dina, for the help. I'm doing everything over here.
There we go. This way. Right behind me.
We got fresh intel. There's an active WLF hideout on Spring and 5th. Grab any available soldiers in your sector and head to the hideout ASAP. Execute any suspects. Secure the location and wait my arrival. Sergeant Ward. So, Spring and 5th. Spring and 5th. So up here. How do I point at that? Near the parking lot.
What do you think of this?
We gotta take a left out of here if we want to go check that out. What do I think of what, Dina? Oh! Little rope swing.
That might work.
Ellie, careful.
It's okay. It's holding.
Where are we going with this? Hold R1 to swing.
Hit L to swing.
I think I should get higher on the rope. I'm gonna hit the wall. Yeah. Yeehaw! Here we go. This is cool. Like, that's just not like a normal thing that you animate or script into a game. Oh, I don't want to jump off over there. I still gotta go in that room, yo. Ooh.
What's this?
Oh, this is the Torah.
The what?
It's scripture. It's like a Jewish Bible. My sister would have flipped for this. The one we used in New Mexico was half burned. All right.
Was there anything you were unsatisfied
They
about
said
or
I must
anything you
check
thought
everything.
could do better while working on this game? It's a good question. I think with anything, there's always, I mean, you're hired to be unsatisfied. You're hired to always try to be better or push your work. So I think in every project, I could say yes to that. Yeah, I mean, I was tasked with, can I jump and catch that? Yeah, yo. I was tasked with previsiting and creating a set piece of an ambush, and a lot of my ideas didn't get in the game, which I thought were good ideas. Oh, why can't I? Is it R1? Neil thought they were too strange, and I disagreed. But it is he is the game director. It's his decision. All I can do is just pitch my idea, and see if they like it for a set piece for an ambush we haven't gotten to yet in the game. But yeah, I wish they would have taken some of those suggestions into account. You know, that's not uncommon to have your ideas not included in a game or in a movie or in a whatever. You're hired to do their work and their job, like do the game that they want. So. But yeah, good question. Can't read that very well. 7 years ago, my grandfather fled Germany with his family as World War II began. He escaped thanks to the kindness and bravery of a Polish family. And so the wheel turns and the cycle continues. Tonight, my family has packed our belongings, and due to your kindness, we will be leaving the city, escorted by your brave men. Thank you for helping me preserve what we could of our Shul, I think is how you pronounce that. It is difficult to leave our home behind, but in the end, it is people, living people, that matter. You are a heavy burden on your shoulders, and I hope our late night talks were of some comfort to you. If I can leave you with one thought: for every turn away from a better world, there is often a stronger correction towards it. Do not lose hope for the future. And the old saying goes, it takes but one candle to dispel the darkness. May God watch over you always. So that was to the Torres, Lieutenant Torres.
I hope you got where you were going.
Alright, I think we got everything we could here. And we can probably leave out this one now. That's probably why we couldn't come up this way, is because this was the way we were going to exit. Which is another good example of game design. And it also gave us a clue into, like, hey, look for something this in the future, because it is how we got up, but just on the other side. So, you know, again, color-wise, there's not a lot of yellow in this environment in general. So when you see like white, like we saw on the board, or yellow, or something high contrast, it will clue you in game design-wise, like, hey, this is something that you need to look out for. It's not clear to me that we should go which way here. I feel like that's way too far to fall. But I can't jump through there, so I have to go this way. Can I, like, hang down? Nope. Oh,
Okay,
alright.
cross the dome off the list.
Let's go find the courthouse. It might be
You
worth
coming,
grabbing
Dina?
some supplies before we press on.
Did you do some programming as well, or was it strictly animation? I did not do any programming. The closest I got to programming was working with a programmer to have them initiate a collision to be turned off for the horse head. So oftentimes, even though you might not be programming something, you need to understand like a general basis of how things are put together so that you can communicate with other departments. Because that's not my job. I'm not hired as a programmer. They didn't require that for me to be hired. Ooh, a bomb.
Rad.
Smell with strike attacks. So that wasn't a requirement for me to get hired, and they didn't expect that of me. And in general, in animation, that's not expected. I will say that you know, the other thing with Naughty Dog in particular is they have their own game engine, so they wouldn't expect you to know how to program a game engine you've never encountered, which is theirs. Especially if you have no programming language experience. But I think guys who know like C# or whatever would be able to, you know, work with it. I mean, obviously they hire programmers who have experience in other languages. And I will say that the supervising animators, just because they've been there for so long, those guys did have experience and did do programming, meaning
And not hearing trucks.
they themselves would handle the blending in and outs of
Potions.
in-game cinematics. So
My
like
sister always avoided koozies.
taking control
That's probably
of the
why.
camera,
She just
you know,
got more and more
initiating
paranoid. She'd sometimes wake up screaming in the middle
initiating animation of a
That's rough.
cinematic,
We always had a bad
stuff like
night,
that. But that was like
something happened.
an expectation of a role as a supervisor, and that's why they were in that role, because they had been there so long. They took the responsibility on themselves to learn that stuff. And a lot of times it's out of necessity because the programmers are so busy. You have to learn it yourself on the job,
I saw that.
because you don't want to wait around for the programmers to getting your animation in game, or maybe they're not understanding what you're requiring of them to get your animation to look right. So you take it upon yourself to learn programming just so that you can implement your animations in game more accurately. But that's not something I ever...
Damn. That's pretty good.
That's not something I ever had to do or was expected to do. I think if I'd stayed at... Ooh, is she going to try to draw it too? I think if I'd stayed at Naughty Dog, it would be something that I would eventually pick up
Jotting this down.
just out of necessity.
What have you got there?
But it would be very, very surface level kind of programming. Like,
hey.
What is it?
I heard another
This
rumor
is
that
their
the
supplies
Westlake
at some
Bank,
Might be worth checking out.
that's true, then it would be filled with more pre-outbreaks. If I say we go for it, if there are enough weapons in there. There was some guys that we can trade salvage about. Come on, man, I don't have the balls to go out in there. But yeah, another good question.
Haven't seen one of these in a while.
Is that a GPS? What is that? Place the tip of the device against exposed skin. Push the device firmly until it clicks. Hold in place for 3 seconds. Observe reading on central display. So this was probably something to figure out if people are infected or not, I guess.
Looks like that's everything over here.
Oh, another workbench. Let's upgrade this stuff. Let me see some more of this great animation. Actually, I did revolver animation too. It should probably be, what's going to happen is she's going to flip it open, spin it, flip it back. So, upgrades. So, pop. Oh, no. Wait, look. The spin back is when she... No! Where'd it go? Maybe it's if they up... Dang it. Maybe they changed it. That might be on an upgrade that they do that. Yeah. Maybe it's been a year since maybe I'm just confusing this. I like how she actually has to literally reload the thing. It's not like just a given that the ammo goes back in there. All right, so let's upgrade this because I feel like we are gonna have to use this at some point. The little frustrating thing, I don't know if my head's blocking it, but I can't tell how much am I spending on that. I guess fire rate is the only thing I can adjust on it. Recoil capacity. Now let's get the fire rate on this guy going. They intentionally obscure this because it's a lot to do. Man, what was it? I thought there was a spinning one. It looks a lot cleaner though, the gun. Like there was actually a... Huh? You going to bed? Alright. Alright, I'll be up in a little bit. Man, I think I'm forgetting the spin thing. Am I making that up? Darren would know. I might send him a message. Like, man, am I making this up? And my fever dreams of having to work on the workbench for so long, and then a bunch of other people worked on it. Is that going... Where's that going? The same place we came from? What's a different place? Oh no, okay. No, Dina, go back.
This must be the music shop.
Man, imagine this place when everything was intact.
Alright, how long have we been playing? I think this is probably good. Yeah, I'm trying to do like 2 hours every session. This is like, we're at 2 hours and
You got
15.
a bunch of records here. This sleep
Thanks
lab.
for... I'm sorry I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Eunice?
Okay. we only listened to it like 100 times
J-U-N-A-S?
together.
I really appreciate the questions, man. Or woman, I don't sorry, I don't know. I don't know. Where are you from, if you can comment? Like what country are you from, or where are you watching this from? I'm curious. Also, just anyone watching, they had a great question earlier about like how we made the game. What did we use for animation? Did we use Maya or did we use Unreal? And we used Maya. We used Sweden. Nice, man. I'm in London right now. So I'm on this part of the hemisphere, I guess. That's cool you're in Sweden. There's part of the reason why I got into game animation is because there's so many more game companies in Europe, and I wanted to live in Europe and as part of my career. And so one really cool thing about working in animation is the ability to travel. I've lived in LA, San Francisco, Vancouver. I could have lived in New York if I wanted to. I've had job offers there. I had interviews from India, Kuala Lumpur, and I went and worked at Naughty Dog because I wanted to get game experience so that I'd be better suited to work in Europe. So you're in a good position being in an EU country that you don't really have to worry about visas and stuff like that. I really envy that, especially now that I'm in the UK and they Brexited us out. So, but there's a lot of good game companies, especially indie game companies in Europe, and that's part of the reason why I worked at Naughty Dog, because this is a strategic decision. Like any part of anyone's career, you know, you need to always, it's like a chess move. You always need to be thinking 3 steps ahead, and that was, I came from film. I worked on Avengers Infinity War, I worked on Ready Player One, Transformers, Welcome to Marwen, Predator, Aladdin. I actually worked on Aladdin while I was working on this game. I had to get approval from Naughty Dog so I could at night work for ILM remotely when I was living in Santa Monica working at Naughty Dog, so that I could work on Aladdin and animate shots of Will Smith playing as Aladdin. But so all that meaning to say is I started in film and started in commercials, really got into film, which I really enjoy and probably will, but because I knew my best chance of working in Europe was going to be through games, I took the job at Naughty Dog because I knew if I got the job at Naughty Dog, that would look good on the resume and be great experience, so that I could take the next step. So I was always trying to, and I'm still trying to think, 3 steps ahead career-wise, like what decisions I'm making and the types of jobs I'm taking, which is going to dictate the next job I'm going to get based on the experience that's going to give me. So it's just something to think about, like more broadly speaking, about charting a path in this career. I have a whole course about breaking into the animation industry. It's called Break Into the Animation Industry. It's on digitalcreatorschool.com. It's a part of all the library of courses that I have. So if you guys get a subscription to that or membership to that website, you can get access to and learn how to use Maya. You can learn how I got into the industry, and I interview 6 people, other people who have varying backgrounds. One guy came from India. There's a couple women give their perspective. People who are more experienced than me, people who are less experienced than me. I interviewed actually a fellow guy because you asked about the programming stuff. One of the interviews in that course is a coworker from Naughty Dog who came from Microsoft. So he was a programmer and he wanted to get into animation. And that whole interview is asking him how he made that transition, because I know so many people want to. Maybe they think they want to do programming, they go down that path, get a job at a game company programming, and then they realize, I don't really like doing this every day of my life. I like the idea of it, like before I knew what it was and had to do every day, I like the idea of it, but now that I'm doing it every day, I don't want to be doing this. But I see other people in the studio doing animation, let me go check that out. And so anyway, he moved from Microsoft to Naughty Dog, and that was his first animation job. And his training, I think he went to online schools, animation mentor. I mean, obviously he's a smart guy. He did programming at Microsoft. But it just shows you, like, there's so many different paths to get into the game industry, the film industry, or whatever it is. But it just takes that kind of ingenuity and strategic thinking and having that awareness of the industry that I discuss in the course, that hopefully will help people, because I know it's very challenging. It's a very competitive industry. But yeah, check out that course and the other ones at Digital. I'm starting to lose my ability to speak. I normally don't talk this much. I normally just sit at a computer all day by myself and not talk to anybody working. Go to digitalcreatorschool.com and check it out if you're interested in checking out those courses. But I will be back here streaming the rest of this game at some point in the near future, maybe tomorrow night, but we'll see. Thanks for joining, and all the awesome questions. Those are really good. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you there next time when I'm playing, because it made me feel not so alone while I was playing. Luckily, my fiance came and joined, and our dog too, but it's good to have a new perspective and new questions from someone. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.